Hello Kipsters, this is Miss Tate here with some huge announcements for you guys. Drumroll please. As many as you know, KIPP Intrepid loves to send our students to some awesome end-of-year trips. We are literally sending our kids this year coast to coast, from Washington, D.C. all the way to California. If I drove in a car, that would take me 40 hours. We do this not just because we do it because we want to award students and say thank you to students that have been working their butts off all year long, working hard and being nice. This year we're going on 4 big trips. Our 5th graders are going to an awesome adventure camp. Well, they will be camping and learning a lot of things about the outdoors. Our 6th graders are trekking all the way to Washington, D.C. Our 7th graders get to go have a lock-in and go to San Antonio and go on this crazy iron rattler at the Six Flags there. And our 8th graders get to go all the way to California. This is something that our 5th, 6th, and 7th graders can work hard towards and look forward to all of their years at KIPP Intrepid. Now, here's the big thing about these trips. We're not just going to pick your names out of a hat. These are earned, not given. I really want to make sure we talk about what this means today, and this is what our focus of the video is going to be. What does it mean to truly earn these trips? If we're sending you to all these amazing places, we want to pick the best of the best. We are about to really change the game up with this system of how we determine who gets to go on these trips. It is going to be a whole different ball game at KIPP Intrepid when you guys come back for spring break. I'm calling this the 8-week challenge. Bum, bum, bum. Here's how the 8-week challenge is going to work. The last 8 weeks before our trips are going to be different. On Monday, March 20th, that's the day you come back from spring break, you will receive a one-time payment of $160. I'm rich! Yeah! This will replace the weekly payments of $20 because 8 weeks times 20 each week equals $160. So this means instead of getting $20 every week, you're going to, boom, come back and you'll see $160 in your paychecks. This means that we are saying every single dollar counts. We know that everybody in the school is getting $160 as of March 20th. If you come back and you lose 5 or 10 or 15 right away, you're already going to be down to 140 or 130. The name of the game is to be as close to 160 as possible, because the students that are close to 160 are showing us that they're maintaining their points and not getting a ton of deductions. Every dollar counts. So when you're in the hallway and you're thinking about, should I rush to class right now or should I talk to my friends? Those -1s for being late to class count. Every dollar counts. Why are we doing this? Why are we changing all this up? Why are we making these big changes? Well, because right now it's go time at KIPP Intrepid. We want to select the kids that truly have earned the trip, which is why we're focusing on these last 8 weeks and making sure we have really specific criteria for you to earn it. And we have STAR map testing coming up. This is the time that we need to be focused and working towards our goals in class every single day. It is go time. These are how it's going to work. At the beginning of the day on Monday, March 20th, you are going to start with $160. It is your job to keep that number as close to 160 as possible. Some of you are going to even be able to go above 160. We're going to be using the same deductions as always. So for example, no homework is still going to be -$3. If you don't do your homework every day in math class, you will lose $15 by the end of the week, because that's 5 times 3. This means your total will only be $145. You are already below 160 only for 1 week of not having homework in one class. Long story short, do your homework. What about positive points? Because I know we can talk about deductions all day and we can keep losing points and you guys know how that works. But here are some of the things that I'm hearing about positive points. Can I avoid detention by picking up the trash? Can I help you at lunch? I even hear teachers saying, "You moved urgently, here's $2. You said thank you, here's $2 for social intelligence." That is a very low bar for excellence. And we want to truly send the best students to California, to Washington, D.C., to an adventure camp, and to San Antonio. We want to send the best students that have been working their tails off and being nice every single day. So, no more of this. From now on, teachers will not have access to +2 for social intelligence, or +2 for this, or +2 for that. The only thing that's going to happen to you to get plus points is that you really have to go above and beyond. You got to be like Michael Jordan, actually. You got to be like Mike. We want you to be the best of the best.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Get your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. Alright.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
So if we're positive points, every core teacher, so these are only your science, math, reading, and social studies teachers, will elect one MVP for each class period at the end of every lesson. This is not just the one person that says thank you or the 5 people that do this. This is the one person that truly goes above and beyond. In basketball and the NBA, there are a ton of players, but only a few truly stand out, like Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, Kobe, and LeBron. The teacher will explain what made the student's actions exemplary. It's not just going to be like, "Hey, Juan had a great day today." It's going to say, "Juan actively participated, raised his hand, and gave multiple answers, and even asked questions to clarify his understanding." That's being an MVP. A student will earn $3 every time they are the MVP. In one day, a student can earn up to $12, but that means they were the MVP in every class. A regular Michael Jordan. Gotta be like Mike. So, some of you might be wondering, wait a minute. This sounds like we're getting a whole new clean slate, because we're just starting at 160. So, if I've struggled a ton, I can just be awesome for 8 weeks and get to go on my trip. You're kind of right, but there's a few stars next to that I want to make sure we clarify. Ever wish you could wipe the slate clean and start over? We are kind of doing that, but we're also giving a bonus to the kids that have done the right thing the whole year. At KIPP, we truly believe that it's all about working hard and being nice. This means that I'm level 6 and live by my own personal code. I do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because I get to go on a trip. There's only a few adults I know and a few kids I know that truly live by this value, this true code, and we're going to give those students an extra bonus to help them earn the trip a little bit faster. Here's how the bonus works. Up until spring break, if your yearly paycheck average was $25 or higher, and now remember, that's only a small handful of excellent MVP children, you are going to get 30 bonus dollars added to your 160. So students that are working hard and being nice all the time, no matter what, they are going to really start Monday, March 20th with $190, when their peers are only starting with $160. Students that have an average of $22 or up are going to get a bonus of $25. Students that have been in our 19 and up club all year long are going to get a bonus of $20. And students that are 16 and up who've only made a few mistakes are going to get a bonus of $15. Anyone that's less than $16 will just start with $160. This is our way of saying thank you and showing gratitude to the students who have been living by their code, and don't do it just to go on a trip. Thank you to you guys. Let's do some examples, because I know there's a lot of math going on in your heads, and some of you are probably like, what is Miss Tate talking about right now? I'm super excited because I get to talk to you guys about math. Don't listen to this cat. All right, so let's take student A. We're just going to do an example. Student A has been working hard all year and showing off his Elite 8 character strengths. Before spring break, his average was $23.56. If we go back to our chart here, his average was greater than 22, but less than 25. So that means he gets a bonus of $25. Thank you, Student A, for doing the right thing all year long. Student A completes his homework every night and follows directions right away in class. He does struggle with getting to class on time, though. Over the last 8 weeks, he was tardy 13 times. Now, here's where the math comes in. Student A is going to have $172. This is where this comes from. He started with 160, just like everybody will. He gets a 25-point bonus as a thank you for him doing the right thing all year long, but he loses 13 points over those 8 weeks because he's always tardy. This means that he ends up with $172. Student A is feeling pretty good. He's feeling like he might just earn that trip to Cali because he knows that most people started with 160 and he's already at 172. Now let's move on to a different example. Here's Student B. Student B has struggled this year in 8th grade. Not gonna lie, he has tried, but he definitely probably could try harder. He also could work on being nice. He often distracts his teammates and swears more than he should. His yearly average is $11.93. He comes back from spring break with his eye on the prize. His one eye, that is. California. All night, all day, he dreams about going to California. He wants to truly redeem his reputation. He participates in class and even earns the MVP award 5 different times. He knows he has to have a ton of self-control to watch his mouth and be focused. He is proud of himself for turning it around. Here comes the math. Student B started with $160. He did not get any bonus because he had a pretty low average at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year. But he gets a 15 points for being an MVP 5 times, because 5 times 3 is 15. Shockingly, Student B was able to earn 175 points over the last 8 weeks because he showed he can change and be better. And all he has to say is this. Both of these students have totally different stories. Student A is someone that had been working hard all year and is able to maintain his hard work, has a little bit of adjusting feedback with the late to class, but overall is doing a great job. Student B struggled, but he realizes that California is what he really wants, so he focuses on that and doesn't let it go. He tries harder in class, he increases his effort, just like your teachers tell you. All of you can do this. You need to focus and figure out what your feedback is so you can improve. Way to go, Student A and Student B. Long story short, guys, the choice is yours. What path are you on right now? If you're on a path where you're already at 21 or 22 or 19 average and up, you're on the clear path to success. If you're kind of over here, you can get back to this path. The choice is yours. I have a few final notes just to make sure we're all on the same page. Everything I've talked about so far is really helping us understand how you're going to earn the trip. It is important to note, however, that we only have a certain number of seats on the airplane or a certain number of seats on the bus or a certain number of admission that we can buy to Six Flags or to our adventure camp. What this means is that we are taking the top 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90 kids in the grade level. It's tough to say, but you are competing against your peers. If you are constantly the students that is off task and that's not doing their homework, you are choosing a different path. The choice is yours. Be elite, be awesome, be an MVP. Do what you can for your school so you can meet your goals and make all your dreams of going to California or Washington, D.C. true. Here are some final logistical notes. Weekly detention. Before spring break, you had to have $5 or less to have detention, which means that you lost at least $15 throughout the week. We are still going to use that same deduction, but now we are subtracting from 160. Whew, some more math from Miss Tate. This means that from now on, we're going to be calculating detention like this. At the end of week 1, if you have 145 points or less, then you are going to have detention because you started with 160. And just like 60 minutes on a clock, if you take away 15 minutes, you're going to have 45. Let's say you have a really, really bad week during week 1 and you lose 50 points. That's going to already set you down into this bucket number 3. So that means you're going to have detention for the next 3 weeks unless you can pull up your total. Remember, we're trying to be as close to 160 as possible. So let's just show one more. Let's say by the second week, you've already lost 30 points. Then that means you would have detention because your total would be at 130. Last note, I swear, a word on spring break homework, because you know that is coming up. Today is Friday and you have 5 days off, but also 5 days to work hard on your goals. Homework over spring break? I think not. Please don't be like Harry Potter. 5th and 8th grade have STAR tests within 7 days of coming back from spring break. The whole school has STAR tests within the next 8 weeks post-spring break. This is why earlier I said that it is go time. Homework is extra practice to ensure you meet your goals. This is not the time to be deciding, I think not. This is the time to be choosing the correct path and working hard at home. A lot of us don't have a lot of kickboard points because of our habits at home. We need to be working hard no matter where we are, at school or at home. So this is how it's going to work. If your homework doesn't meet expectations, and your teacher should be very, very clear with what that is, whether it's writing sentences or annotating or showing the gist or getting a certain percentage on different articles, if your homework doesn't meet expectations, you're getting -10 on Monday, March 20th. That means that you're going to start the final 8 weeks with $150. So you already lost 10 right off the bat. If your homework meets expectations and you did everything that you were asked to do with effort, you're going to get plus $10 on Monday, March 20th. So you're choosing your path. You're either adding 10 or subtracting 10. You're going to start the final 8-week stretch with $170 and maybe more if you got a bonus from your weekly average. There will only be one $10 credit or deduction. This will not be for every subject. So if I don't do my math homework, my science homework, my reading homework, and my social studies homework, that is not -40. We're just lumping it in to be -10 total. Students who do their homework will have an advantage of $20 over their peers who choose to be lazy. So I say that if you do your work, you're going to be at 170. If you don't do your work, you're going to be at 150. Remember, you're competing against your teammates in some way. We want to cheer for our teammates and encourage our friends to do their best. But at the end of the day, there's only a certain number of tickets and a certain number of seats on that bus or that plane. So if you're losing 20 points off the bat in relation to your peers, it's going to be way harder for you to come back from that deficit. I know you can, but it's going to be harder. Whew. In summary, Miss Tate's got to get a glass of water, man. In summary, we are sending you guys on some amazing trips. These are trips that you guys have been working hard for all year long. We want you to earn these trips. We want you to be the best you can be. So do it. Remember, every dollar counts. We're starting with 160 and we're hoping that you can go up if you're the MVP or if you do your homework over spring break or if you've had an amazing average. And we're hoping we don't have to take away a ton of deductions. Every day you go home and you decide, I'm lazy, I really want to just play on my Chromebook and I don't want to do my homework, you're getting farther and farther away from that 160. You are competing against your peers. Think about the number 160 as your target in the sky and you want to keep shooting for that number so you can get to all of our awesome trips. Remember, the main way throughout the day that you can earn positives is only by truly being the best, by being the MVP of your classroom. And your teachers will let you know if you get that at the very end of class. Long story short, we really want you guys just to do it. We want you to do your best so that you can be successful. Thank you so much for listening, and please think of some questions that you might want to ask so that you can make sure you understand what it's going to take for you to earn that trip.
That's all, folks.